Testing, testing. Seems to be working. Okay, so this this video I just wanted to actually show. Excuse me, my voice is a bit croaky. I found a video of the ISS traversing the sun. So I just took the video and I played it, recorded it and slowed it down. I wanted to show it. So if I can play this, to show how good that's coming up here. I'm going to play this. You can see the what looks to be the ISS traversing the sun. Now this, in all respect, was probably about just over a second. If you'd have blinked, you'd have missed it. But there she goes. And stop. So I'll just bring this back a bit. Let's play it again. Let's bring that back and pause it a bit. Bring it back and pause. Come on. Right. We have a look at this here. Now, for all intents and purposes, this is supposed to be 250 miles up. So with this, just play that on a bit, get it down there a bit out of the way, the sunspots. Now, I'm not too bothered the fact that the two edges here would represent the extremities of the solar arrays, and you would think that the solar arrays are humongously bigger than the body of the ISS. It's supposed to be as big as an American football pitch. But who's to say that the ISS isn't angled off? So what we're actually, you can't really tell if a plane's flying away or flying towards you from the outline of the plane. It's just the way you look at it. So this could actually be angled slightly. So I'm not really too worried about that. But what I was looking at was so I put this basically, I started off in Photoshop, but I'm not sure if we can see this. Let's put that full screen. Is that any better? Now up here you got the ISS. So what I did is just basically put this into Paint, and I measured just the units across and the units down to make a 3, 4, 5 triangle. Just a right angle triangle. So knowing the time roughly that it took to cross this position here, if I work out the length of this, then that would give me the time and the distance covered. Now, obviously what I need to do is find out in relation to that how big this is. So from NASA's own website, the actual dimensions, and you can quote me at this if you want, from sources on that. I should pull it up actually, but I haven't got it. It's actually 112 feet by 39 feet, the actual solar array. So if I doubled that plus some of the ISS body, I'm roughly looking at well, let's do in meters. So I'm looking at about 70, let's say call it 70 meters across from here. So if I draw that triangle, which I had done there, so I'm looking at, so roughly for this position here, I've got about, if I go from here, which is, let's say 1140 down to 340, that gives me 700. So if I call that 700, and then down, I've gone from about 100 down to about 740. So let's call that 340, 360 to 1140. So let's call it 800 by 640. That works out to about 1020 distance from here to there on the triangle by using Pythagoras theorem, which is, GS or O-level maths, whatever you call it. So with that in mind, what I did then, now I have this distance here. If I bring this up here and I try and work out what the size of this is in relation to my grid, again, if I make a little 3, 4, 5, sorry, I keep saying 3, 4, 5, a little triangle here, and work out these measurements, it was basically the slope here was 9.8. So call it 10. Call it 10. So if I have over 1,000 on this length going down here, I worked that out to about 10. So I could effectively get 100 of these little ISSs, or the pictures of ISSs. I could get 100 of these inside this, give or take 1 or 2. So if I go by that factor, then I get 100 of these within that distance, because I've divided this line here, which was about 1,020, by say 10. Yeah. So let's say even if it was 120, sorry, 102, 104, and then knowing this distance here of the ISS, yeah, of being at the extremity of about I did call it about 75 meters, let's say. If I said that was 75 meters from tip to tip, the extremities of the solar arrays, including the body of the ISS, don't forget, they're attached on either side. So that effectively means that across this distance here, which if I called it a second, so I've actually got 100 of these, which would be, say, 75 meters, that's 7,500 meters per second across here, across this distance. So 7,500 meters per second. So if you work that out, let's go to Google. Say meters per second, miles per hour. So I said it was roughly 7,500 meters per second. That's going to nearly 16,777 miles an hour. Well, they say it's 17,500 miles an hour that the ISS is traveling. So I'm not trying to say, yeah, this is the ISS, it's up there. This is what it is. Just from basic mathematics, really, from what that video was showing. I'm going to play it again, actually. I mean, it proves that the speed that this thing is going. I mean, again, if we take this video as being from a genuine source, who's to say? What I tried to do was just try and capture the ISS finishing there, right at the end here, just to see how it disappeared. I'll pause it there. So it's not absolutely conclusive as to what this actual item is. They say it's the ISS, they tracked it. It could be a heavenly body up there doing something. But is it what we actually see, what they show us from their videos from space? Who knows? There might be something up there doing something, but are there people on board that? I mean, when you play this video in real time, it's absolutely blink and you miss it. Honestly, I would have thought that speed, looking at the ground from what they're up, would have thought that the Earth would have passed a lot quicker. it still doesn't tell us why it's up there and what it's doing. It are obviously doing more than what they want us to know, or no idea really. But all the videos they put out of the ISS up there and showing the people on board, don't know really. I mean, it's not conclusive evidence that it's up there. I mean, the speed, just from a rudimentary sort of calculation, calculated that speed at 16,777, which isn't far off really. But then maybe it was produced that way. Who's to say? Who's to say? But I just thought I would undertake the exercise. That's about it, really. So yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing else to report, really. Nope. Okay, people. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of useless information.